Hello there. Welcome to Ebit Media show. I'm Anita, your host, and today we'll be diving into a topic that is very close to my heart: capacity building. It's all about growth, both personally and professionally. And today we are going to uncover strategies and insight that will help you explore your fullest potential. Our guest speaker is well equipped with his unique perspective and also a wealth of experience that he brings to the table. So join us as we explore this topic, capacity building. Without further ado, I have with me our guest speaker today,
Mr. Gold David.
Okay, Mr. Go David is a brand strategist and also is a leadership trainer and an entrepreneur. He's passionate about young people in leadership.
Yeah, that's basically what I do as a leadership trainer, founder of Inspiration, exactly. We inspire young leaders, young people to leadership, and then also I'm a brand designer and strategist. That's where we help businesses, right? We help people structure out good strategy that will help them get results in their businesses, right? And that's like summary of what I do with Inspiration and also with my business, right?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you.
Okay,
recently I was in my lecture hall. So a guy walked in and everybody was shouting capacity, capacity, capacity. And the way they were saying it, it was not just a nickname, it was like a title that was bestowed upon him. And I took a time to pause. What really made everybody to start calling this guy capacity? So please, can you tell us what capacity building is?
Okay, I think that's a nice instance you just gave. For someone to be called capacity means that there is something that they are doing, right?
Yeah.
That people see and they're like, this guy is doing way more than maybe every other person is doing in that same field. So capacity talks about the maximum amount of what you can contain, what you can carry. Or you could say the maximum amount of what you can produce. So it talks about production and containment. So for instance, we have a bottle of water, right? And we say this is 50 ml. It means that the maximum amount of liquid that bottle can contain is 50 ml. That's the capacity of it.
Okay.
And then talk about the bus. We say this bus is 18-seater bus.
Okay.
That's the capacity of that bus. So everybody in life, just like these examples I just gave, have their different capacities. What they can do, what they can deliver, what they can contain, what they can manage, all of that. So when we get to situations whereby our capacity have not grown enough to that extent to contain and manage, most times we falter, we fall, we fail, we get into depressing moments and all of that. But when we face challenges that we've built enough capacity to contain, we'll be able to go seamlessly and become so easy because we've gone through the process of growth. So that's basically what capacity is about, and that's why I think that guy was being called capacity.
Okay. Okay, that's very good. So our next question is what are the factors that should be considered for someone who wants to build capacity? Let's say I like this guy that they were calling capacity. Basically, he was this kind of social guy, and I learned that he was director of social, and he carried everyone along. And during this tenure, his classmates, everybody, they enjoyed this tenure. So, what are the factors that you consider if you want to build capacity? Let's say I want to build capacity in my finance. What are the factors that I should consider?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. You see, like I said, I think what differentiates every one of us as humans, one of the major differentiating factors is our capacity.
Okay.
We are all born the same.
Okay.
We're all born as human beings, babies. All of us started from several years, 9 months in our mother's wombs, and then we came out. The only difference is where we are now, the capacity we have is what differentiates every one of us. What we can do, what we can deliver. And so it means that if we all started from the same level, what for this other person to be better than this person means that this person built himself, yes, built capacity, or she built capacity for herself. So there are lots of things that you consider in building capacity, right? But I think I'll just give us a list of few of them that we could say, okay, if you can develop yourself in this, to help you all round. And number one in that is leadership. So most people play down or talk down on leadership. They feel like leadership is not for them. I spoke to a lady one time and she was like, leadership is for men. That was what even shocked me the most, that leadership is not for. I'm like, we're not talking about organizations. Even in organizations, women are one of the powerful leaders in organizations nowadays, right? So for you to not just remove yourself, exempt yourself from the idea of leadership means you have a wrong notion. And that kind of person would refuse to grow in that way. And it will affect every aspect of our life. So we must begin by building leadership capacity. And what does that mean? It means we build communication capacity. How well do you communicate? How well do you pass your message? How well do you share your vision? You want to go and get a job. You are applying for a job. How well can you sell yourself and your value to the company? Some people that get jobs not because they are the best.
That's what
because when they enter them, their demeanor, their ability at which they speak, right? It makes people feel like this guy has to be good. Like for him to talk like this, that's confident. All these things play out in leadership, right? So that's one aspect I feel everybody should learn, build capacity in leadership.
Okay.
And then the next thing you should also consider is your knowledge bank. How much do you know?
How much do I know?
Because you can't talk about capacity when you don't talk about knowledge.
Okay.
Your knowledge will determine your capacity. So you must be willing to read wide and read fast.
Okay.
Know your line of your niche. Know as much as you can about that niche, and know also a little about every other thing, so that you are not caught off guard. You are not caught lost in any conversation. At least you should know something, and you should always be someone who is given to learning. Because if you are given to learning, obviously you will know more. So that's the next thing, the knowledge. The next thing also I'll talk about is skill.
Okay.
Your skill set, because in the marketplace, what makes you more valuable is what you can do.
Okay.
So you are going to bid for a contract or whatever. What can you do? To get a job, what can you do? Capacity. What can you do? Tell us. We want to see what you can do, not just what you can say you can do.
Okay.
So for instance, two people are coming to apply for a contract now, and then this guy is already showing you workings.
Of what he has done.
What he has done before, and you are coming with proposal. Okay, let us see what you have done before now. Nothing. Who do you think they will trust more? This guy that has results.
People will always sponsor what you do.
Exactly. So you must also improve on your skill set. Show your workings. And most times people feel like, I don't have a job to show my working. Start. I tell people, have what we call pseudo projects. Yes, you don't have to wait for a client to come before you do something. Do it, put it in your portfolio when they need you. When they call you, now show them this and this and this I have done. For instance, you are a fashion designer.
Yeah.
And you don't have any client here to come and I want to sew clothes.
No, I have a client.
Okay. But then you can just go to the market, buy materials, and make those clothes.
For yourself?
Yes, and then when you go, you say, I'm the one that sew. Do you want one? Before you know you have a client. You can snap that picture, post online, somebody see that. I love it. You get. So you have to show your workings, have skills, develop your skill set. And then the next thing I'll talk about before we leave this question is self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Yes, people have low self-esteem. And no matter how much you know, if you have low picture
of
yourself, no other person will see you better than yourself.
I'm gonna believe you.
It's gonna be. You can't be someone of capacity if you have a low vision, a low picture of yourself. Because if people should trust you, you should not trust yourself. If people should believe in you, you should not believe in yourself. You don't expect other people to just accept you and believe you, and then just the guy is good. But you yourself don't see yourself of weight, and anything somebody says is affecting you. Anybody, you just feel somebody just calls you and say, you look short, and you're like, he said I'm short, and because you say you're short now, you now feel like nothing. My life is useless because
you're actually short.
But and you should love the fact that you were like that, but you should not now make it a big deal and say, I'm short, and means I am less of a human. That's what some people see themselves. They feel that because I'm this, you get. So you must see yourself as God sees you. Let me use that. And then you can now begin to push out for things that even your normal peers would not have pushed out for, but because you have already seen yourself farther than them, right? you can begin to push for those things and you begin to get those things. And people begin to see you, begin to call you capacity because they are seeing that yes, this person is getting results, right? So these are things I feel everyone should build in the sense of building capacity.
Thank you very much. So you should build your leadership skills, you should build your knowledge, your self-esteem and your skills. Okay, so when it comes to talent, some people they do something with ease. Like you see someone, they can just sing and if you want to sing, you'll be like, you now see that this thing is not as easy as they are doing it. So when it comes to talent and capacity building, should there be something that, okay, let's say I'm skillful, like naturally I can do this particular thing. Is it like something that should propel me to build more capacity in that area?
Yes, I think so. Talent should be worked on.
Okay.
I heard a saying that hard work will beat talent when talent refuses to work hard.
Okay.
So when you have talent and you feel like, I'm just doing this, I don't need to work again. The guy who is having maybe little amount of that thing, and the guy is working hard, it should not be a matter of time. That guy that is working hard on that talent will beat you that is relaxed with that same time. Even though you may be more bestowed, maybe natural for you. So, for example, talking about basketball now, for you to be a good basketballer, you must be tall, you must have. But there's this guy, Kobe Bryant. He's tall, basically, he has the physique, one of the world best basketballers in the world. But there's another guy called Shaquille O'Neal. He's huge, he's tall, but he's bigger than Kobe.
Okay.
But during their career, Kobe was more respected. He had more results than this other guy, even though this other guy was more blessed. Because this guy worked harder to beat those limitations, right? That this guy didn't have. I don't want to go to football. There are also people that get it. But then you must not say because I have a talent and then I refuse to build capacity. So, because if you do that, the person who doesn't have that much talent in that will come and beat you because you refuse to do. So you must build capacity.
Build capacity in line with your talent. It's very important. Okay, so the next question is, when it comes to the world, you can't actually take away measurement. So how can you measure the effectiveness of your capacity building? Someone will say, they said you are not good with this, you have fraud in this aspect of your life. Say, I'm working on it, I'm trying. How do you estimate, how do you measure the effectiveness of capacity building? Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's obvious, you will see it in
results.
For instance, a company that is producing, let's say Indomie for instance, producing 1,000 cartons of a particular product that they make. And you say, we want to improve capacity of our production. What they do, maybe they get more machines, right, so they can improve the production. Or they employ more persons so they can work more hours. They do that to get more results. So we measure the result of that action of capacity building by the result they now produce. So a man who says, I am building capacity, I am improving myself, we will see it in the results that you begin to deliver. So if your results starts getting better, right, it may not be from 10 to 100 at once, but at least we are seeing little improvement. And the truth is that it will compound. So there's a book I am reading currently, it's called Compound Effect. The compound effect. Yes.
Compound interest in checking. But
this one is compound effect.
Okay.
So in that book, you find out that daily actions, even if it's small, daily actions, it will pile up over time to give it time, probably 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, it will compound. It all adds up, right? It all adds up. Every little action we take every single day, one little step, 1 hour of reading, 1 hour of practice, 1 hour of dedication to a particular project, right? It will add up and end up giving you compounded results in a matter of time. It could take 5 years, it could take 10 years, it could even take more, right? It could take 15 years. But then you may not see the result immediately. Okay. But the fact that you are improving steadily, consistently every single day, you will find out that in a matter of time, right, you begin to see the maximum results. You begin to see ultimate results from those little practices. So that's basically how you measure your
The
progress.
effectiveness of your capacity building is results. Okay, Sir David Gold, can you share a story of, like, can you share your personal experience of the initiative you took in capacity building and the result you got from it?
Okay, thank you very much. Personally, right, let me talk about myself being a brand designer.
Okay.
Right? So I started out being a graphic designer.
Wow.
Right? Just like every other graphic designer out there. And then you are trying to survive with 2K and business 1K. There was time I even did a design for 500. And just because I wanted to, let's just make the money. But it's not sustainable that way. And I was asking myself questions. What do I need to do, right, to come out of that rat race of having to beg for clients and beg for 500 naira? You're even begging for 500 naira.
Sure.
So I had to improve on my brand.
Okay.
I improved. I found out that if I don't work on my brand, I can't attract the kind of clients I need.
How did you improve on your brand?
Exactly. So I started working deliberately on the kind of content I put out.
Okay.
I started deliberately not acting needy or sales, in the sense of I need the money, just come, let us. So now I cannot tell you if you're not willing to pay this amount, it's fine. It's not a problem, it's not my fault, it's not your fault, just that we're not.
Can't do business.
Yes, we can't do this.
Okay.
But before then, you would be, okay, let's not do it now, so that at least the money we'll still get it, even if it's small. But I changed that. So I worked on my brand, I rebranded my company, changed the name, changed the logo, changed the perspective, changed everything, and then I started communicating differently, right? So if you want, branding is what people see and say about you.
Okay.
It's not what you even put out there as logo. It's what people, like when you talk about iPhone, there's this class they see.
Okay.
There's this luxury that comes to mind.
Okay.
iPhone, GLK, Benz. There's this. You get what?
Paint a picture.
I was listening to a story that Vusi spoke about on YouTube the other day, and he said that Lexus is a Toyota company.
Okay.
But they were trying to sell to the American market, and these American guys already knew Toyota to be a low-class vehicle. So it was not selling in the market. It was not pushing, it was not making waves. So they had a meeting and they had, what do we do to make our products marketable in the US? Because the US is a big market. So they had to sit down and okay, the US needs luxury. They don't want low-level cars, low-quality cars. And so what did they do? They rebranded. And so what did they changed the name from Toyota to Lexus. What does Lexus mean? Luxury export to the US.
Okay.
So they just got the initials and gave it the name Lexus. Many people wouldn't know, they feel like it's a different company. Whereas it's the same company, and people started buying it in the US. The phones we use today, there's Infinix, there's Techno, there's Itel. Those are the same companies. Like the same company produces the phone in China. But they put different names, almost the same capacities. But you see Infinix is costlier than Techno.
Definitely.
And Techno is costlier than
Itel.
Just to target different markets.
Okay.
It's all about branding, it's all about perception. Most people see you that, okay, this is it. Somebody came to me and I was like, hey, I've never come to you to do business because I thought your price was very high. So I was shocked at the price you got because of the way I've already branded myself.
And you'll be like, I need to
you understand? So that's one way I had to work on myself to be able to get the results that I was seeking. So the question you asked was, how
did you improve on yourself?
Yes. How do I improve? So I had to learn, and then I had to implement what I've learned, right? So in case you want to change your results, you want to get better results, you have to start with learning.
Okay, so that's personal development.
Yes. What don't I know that I need to know?
Okay.
And once you start finding out, don't waste time with the knowledge. Start doing something about it. And the more you start doing something about it, the more results you begin to see and get.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is, There is something that my brother used to talk. He liked talking about human factor, and in his own view, human factors are more like limitations. Okay, so when it comes to this branding, there are limitations, like something like time constraint and probably finance. How do you overcome these limitations when it comes to capacity building? For example, I'm into fashion. I make dresses. I have a limitation when it comes to finance in getting the right equipment, weaving machine and industrial machine. How do I overcome these challenges? And probably I'm in school now and my academic is demanding so much of my time. I have to give in, and sometimes I have to reduce the number of clothes that I take because of my academic, which has to do with a time constraint. So how do I overcome these limitations, time constraint and finance when it comes to capacity building?
Okay, so few things I will say here. The first thing is sacrifice.
Sacrifice, okay.
In life, we learn to make sacrifices. We sacrifice the now for the future that we desire.
Okay.
So there are lots of things always wanting to take your time and your attention part time,
Okay.
right? But then you have to sacrifice
And
the
prioritize.
not so essential for the essential.
Okay.
So if you know that there are lots of things you need to do, pick out the ones that are most important,
Okay.
prioritize them, put them in order of priority, which is most important, which is not so important, which can I let go. And then when you pick out, list out these things, then you focus on the top priorities.
Okay.
So once you focus on those things, you can now give more time to them and less time to the other things that are not essential, right? So if time is a factor, you now have to, there are lots of things that take your time that may not be so important.
Yeah, that's
So if you can get those times back, you can save more time that you can use to do more important things, right?
Yeah.
And then the next thing I would say after this is leverage.
Yeah, okay.
Leverage what leverage others what they have to compensate for what you don't have at the moment.
Okay.
So for instance, if you are a fashion designer, you need these machines, you don't have them. Is there someone you know that has them?
It. Can
Leverage.
Okay.
And then once you leverage, you now find that you can now start making more money and save more, sacrifice now, you save more. Maybe you were buying shawarma consistently. Stop buying shawarma so that you can buy the important machines.
Yeah.
And then once you leverage that, you can still be serving your client, but you are using borrowed item, right? Then once you get enough money which you have saved up, you can now put it into your own business, buy the machines, and then get the results, right?
Wow. Thank you so much. So when it comes to limitation, when it comes to time and finance, when it comes to finance, you leverage on other people. Then for time constraint, you have to prioritize and draw out your scale of preference.
Even with time, you can still leverage.
You can still leverage.
Somebody can do it and then you don't have the time, pay them to do it.
And you take your own commission. Wow, that's good. Okay, when it comes to capacity, people that they say, this person is a man of capacity, they are mostly people that is in leadership or people that is following someone. So what is the role of leadership in capacity building for an organization?
Okay, so when it comes to leadership, most times you always have to connect it to an organization, right? So any organization, I would say, that is not interested in the development of its people, is not a good place for you to be.
Okay.
You shouldn't waste your time there, right? Recently, there was a conference that happened in Port Harcourt. I paid for a member of my team to attend the conference. I couldn't attend, but I paid for her to attend. And as much as I see such opportunities and we are capable, I make sure that my people go and learn. Okay. Because the more they learn, the more we know in our circle and the more results we can get. So leaders must be willing to develop their people. They should not be scared of the growth of their people.
Okay.
In fact, the leaders should be excited that their people are growing. What makes a company go further and forward and faster is the people that is in the company. So if the people are developed and you enforce, you have a culture of people development in your company, so there should be a culture of people development, you begin to see more results in that. Right? So I think every leader, you have a business, you have an organization. One of the reasons why you are still where you are is because you have refused to invest in your own. So spend time, spend money, spend resources, invest in them. You may not even need to go out, take them out. You can organize an event in-house. right? And enforce them to read books. Okay, this even like I have a mastermind, I give them books to read every month.
Wow.
So you can enforce it in your team. This is the book we're reading for this month. Make sure they read it. It's a very cheap way to also grow your people. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's one way. I think leaders can cause development in the people they work with.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. The next question is, in this current time, you can't actually ignore technology using AI and other stuff. How do you leverage on this technology for personal development?
Okay, so I would say that YouTube should be your best friend.
YouTube.
Yes, please.
Okay.
For anybody watching this, I'm sure you watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay.
So YouTube should be your best friend.
Okay.
YouTube is a university in itself. In fact, I think some people call it university.
Mm-hmm.
So there are lots of things you need to learn. Go to on YouTube and search for.
Okay.
You will probably see an intro to that thing on YouTube. There are millions of videos and people are uploading every single day. And they are doing it for you so you can learn. So that's one very good part. I watch videos on YouTube every day. If you check I have a to-do list I work with every single day. There's always an option there, a task for the day to watch a video on YouTube.
Okay.
Because to me it's a personal development platform. And people who go there and consume time or comedy and all that. But if you really are interested about your growth, you should go there and learn. Right? And aside from YouTube, there are other platforms that you can also use to learn. There's Udemy, there's Coursera, there's Udacity, and name them. Lots of online learning platforms. Aside from this, there are even free platforms you can also go on. YouTube is a free one actually. Some of these other ones are paid, but they're not so expensive. And then there are also people who bring out online courses. Like we have a leadership training organization. We have a leadership training course. So you can leverage on these platforms online. On WhatsApp, on Instagram, on Telegram, you see courses, right? So you can join these courses even on Zoom, whenever they're having them on Zoom, and then go yourself. Make sure that no month passes without you having at least engaged with personal development on your device, your phone, right? Use it to grow yourself. And I'm sure you get better at the end of every year. You just get better because you are growing bit by bit every single day.
Wow, thank you so much.
And the tech makes it easier because you can actually learn from your house.
From your house.
From your bedroom, you can actually learn. Right?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so what's the role of mentorship in personal development? Is there a role? What's the role if there is?
Okay, I think there's a research that happened. I've forgotten the year, but in that research, it was discovered that people who are successful ascribe part of their success or reasons for their success to
their mentor.
Yes, to having a mentor and a guide.
Okay.
So if you want to improve your capacity, right, you want to grow and become better, you want to excel in life, look for someone that you can be answerable to. You can learn. You can ask questions and say, please, I was working on this product and I encountered this challenge. Can you help me out? They will definitely have answers for you. Now, a mentor is different from a coach. Many people don't know the difference, but let me try to see if I can explain.
Okay.
So a mentor is more like for life.
Okay.
General life development. You can have challenges on any field. They are not so in depth, but they can stand as guides. They can be there for life.
Okay.
But a coach, just like a football coach, you employ a coach for a reason to get results, and you can sack the coach anytime. Once you find that the result is not, you sack them.
Okay.
So coaches are more professional.
Okay.
Right. So let's say you want to be a better medical practitioner. You can have a consultant
that you work on.
Yes, that can be your coach. So that one, they are guiding you specifically on your career path. And most times, coaches don't have long lifespan in the lifetime of their coaches, right? But then mentors you can have a mentor for life.
Okay.
Right? So you should have mentors. You should also have coaches part time. You should have coaches part time, right? Okay. That helps you become better and build your capacity.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, sir, if you are given an opportunity to be 10 years old again, what area of your life are you going to build capacity that you intentionally build capacity in?
Okay, If I were to go back to being 10 years old, I think I would give more attention to building relationships.
Relationship.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's one very powerful tool that many people don't really understand.
Okay.
Part of leadership is relationship.
Okay.
The more and I have a particular mantra or an ideology. You must have mentors. You must have proteges. So like your mentors, right? Then you must have people that you mentor.
Yes.
And then you must have peers.
Yes. Okay.
Right? So you have proteges, those who are ahead of you, people who you look up to, you learn from, you want to be like them, you want to they push you to become better, right? And then you must have your peers, your party, those people who are like your guys, right? You're all building together, you're all giving yourself energy, you're pushing.
Okay.
And then because one of you can be the reason why everybody in that circle
will succeed, yeah.
So you must have that set of people that have sense, right?
Okay.
Then you must have people
that you mentor,
right? Okay. People that you train. There's a name I also call them, I've forgotten it now, but you must have those people that you train. Because whenever you feel, maybe you feel down or you are feeling like, because in life we get to those seasons at some time. But when you now see that there are people that you have helped and you are seeing their results, your energy will increase, fire will come up again, you keep pushing, right? So and part of life is we receive to give, right? That's generally what life is about. We don't just receive for ourselves, we receive so we can pour out, right? So you become more fulfilled when you live a life that is impactful and has other people that you are raising and you're also going to become. So if I were to go back, I would invest more in becoming a better communicator and have more good relationship around myself to help you become better in life, right?
Okay.
So that's mine.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, that comes to the end of our section today. So if David Gold if he's given an opportunity to be 10 years old, he's going to build more when it comes to relationship. So just comment on the section and tell us what area of your life you wish to build more capacity on. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, just click on the subscription button and I'll see you next time in our video. Thank you so much.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe. Very important for your good and for your capacity development. Make sure to hit that subscribe button.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye.